Hey, this is Stu with the Military Officer Real Estate Investment Club, and today I'm going to be investing or talking with Markion Sitch. He is at activedutypassiveincome.com. What's up, Markion?
Hey, how's it going?
So we're going to do a quick question for you. This is called request for information, and I know you've been going through the process of some turnkey providers. Doing some interviews, finally found one. I know you've had some bad experiences with turnkey providers as well. In my mind, I think that's a great way for military investors to go is buying a turnkey property. Super passive income, hassle-free. I think it's the way to go. So my question to you is, what type of information, what questions are you asking to those turnkey providers before you start investing with them?
Right. I think before I ask them questions, I like doing a little bit of research on my own. I think in today's day with the internet, there's so much information you can learn before you even do your real due diligence. And so, like, for example, my mom loves Google Maps. That's how she does. Like, I ask her to do some research for me. She's like, oh, I like this area. I don't like this area. But you can actually like even go and tell the kind of cars that are in the area. You can really get a sense for like, is it an A class, a B class, or C class type area, and you really know what you're getting into. I like looking up information on neighborhoods, even as simple as Zillow. And I hate using such a cliche term, but it's a quick way to get like an idea. Oh, is this does it have a good school area? How hot is it? How hot is the market? So is it selling fast, or is it kind of like slow on the slower side? You can look at the trends. So I kind of like doing a little bit of my own internet research. And then what that also provides me is I know what price he bought that property for. So, for example, if he's selling it for $150,000, I can see how much money he's making on it, and I can double check his numbers, and then I can immediately know the integrity of that person. So, if I see that he bought it for 83, because that's what Zillow says the last purchase happened 4 months ago. He spent 2 months doing rehab on it, and now he's selling it to me. If it cost him $85,000, then he put another $30,000 into it. Whatever that is he's making on top. Am I okay with that? Does that make sense? Did he give me the same numbers? At the end of the day, if it appraises properly, I'm going to be okay with it, because that means that that's the value of the home. Now that kind of like leads into another thing, right? So appraisals for single family rentals are very different than appraisals are for commercial buildings. It's all depending on what is somebody willing to pay for it. It's just like gold. Like gold costs this much today, might cost that much tomorrow, because that's what a person is willing to pay for it. Well, how much are my neighbors worth? You can get a little preliminary idea based off of that, and then you kind of take into account the amount of rehab they've done. So some of the questions like, can you give me the prices? Can you show me the pictures of before and after? How much did you spend on the rehab? And then also just look at their communication level. The first rehabs, or the first couple of properties I try to get were duplexes priced at like $55,000. I mean, I love the idea of buying C-class properties in working class neighborhoods, but honestly, these were just not where they needed to be. It wasn't like there's a threshold. If you're trying to be passive, you also don't want it to be in such an area or in such condition that there's too much maintenance or stuff going on, or there's robberies happening left and right. So when I got this appraisal back, I should have been clued in, and somebody told me, like, look at the values of the other homes. They're all in like the 39s and 40,000s. My appraisals came in like high 40s or low 40s for one of them. So there was like $15,000 difference off of a property that cost $55,000. I looked him up. He bought them for like 20, put like maybe $10,000 into it, and now he was trying to get 55 off of it. So the lesson to be learned there was, first and foremost, they weren't communicating very well. When I was asking them for this information, they were stalling. They would tell me, I immediately sensed a lack of integrity and in their openness. The person I'm working with right now, no such issue. I almost got too much information up front. I was like, it was awesome. Do some research before you go too deep. Like an appraisal with either a hard money lender or whatever it is you're using, a bank, is going to cost, several $100s. In my case, the duplexes cost $600 a piece, and I was trying to get two of them. Those $1,200 I had to pay for, and I didn't have any guarantee of getting back. The appraisal company can't give that back to you because ever since 2008 with Dodd-Frank, an appraisal company can't basically, what is the proper word? They can't guarantee an appraisal because that's illegal. And that makes sense because all of a sudden that's what, in 2008, that was one of the problems. People were like getting appraisals that made everything happen, made the numbers happen. People were getting, they're getting houses and loans they weren't supposed to. So ask those questions, see the responses, see if you're just okay with, sometimes like I look at a property, I'm like, he bought it for $50,000. He put $10,000 in. Now he's like trying to sell it for $150,000. Even if it appraises at that price, I'm like, wow, I almost feel bad about it. It's a business thing and I totally trust it, but I want to see there being some inherent value in that property before I even jump into it. I want to see that it has some roots, so to speak. Another thing is see what they use for property management. See if their property management's easy to talk to. Turnkey provider means you come in, they have property management set up. They have, what else do they have set up? They have insurance guy ready to go. They have potentially a tax guy ready to go. They have somebody writing up a purchase contract for you. The purchase contract will make or break your entire situation. When you're going from start to finish, you want to make sure that you're the person protected. And I cannot give legal advice, but I'll just tell you, I was showing my purchase contract after the first person I was trying to buy turnkeys with I was showing it to I think it was just a regular real estate agent, and they were blown away. They were like, you are getting murdered with this one. No matter what happens, they are protected, not you. And so I would spend the extra dollar. Like if our buzzword is passive income, pay a little more to get that peace of mind. Pay a little, get $150,000 property or $100,000 property at least instead of a $50,000 property. Even if you're making a 30% return on that $50,000 property, pay a little more, make it truly passive for you, more peace of mind. Get that purchase agreement checked out. Get a warm and fuzzy about the appraisals before you get into them. And the property management. Do your own homework, do your due diligence. And then the biggest thing when you're actually choosing which one to go for, I go for a school district. I know that seems kind of simple, but honestly, something I've learned with the commercial side of things is people are, especially if your investment is more of an affordable house. It's like in that range where it's could be considered almost affordable housing. People are dying. Single mothers or just single parents in general are dying to find a property or a place where they can live that is next to a good school. It's on a very personal level for them. They can make or break their child's future. Essentially, that's what they feel like, at least with a good school district. So you want to provide something that you feel good about letting your people live in, and you want to have a good school district. And guess what? It also will make more business sense. You're not going to have as much of a problem finding tenants. So sorry, word vomit again. But
that's awesome, man. So on all these turnkey properties that you've we're looking at, did you ever go and see any of them yourself? Did you physically go there and look at any of them?
Good point. Thanks for reminding me. So my big thing is having boots on the ground. So I was talking about a lot of things you can do on your own, and that's good for like the preliminary steps. But something I'm going to recommend to everybody to talk about is have some kind of boots on the ground. So the one I'm buying right now, I don't have boots on the ground, but I have plenty of friends that are buying through this turnkey provider that I have this validation, this legitimacy behind what I'm doing, because I have a whole group that's doing it there. It's not me being a lone wolf going through a turnkey provider I just met and not knowing that area. I didn't have anybody in the area that I was trying to purchase in. Now, for example, my mom is a huge asset to me. She'll literally drive out somewhere. She'll check it out. She's a lot less analytical. She's more creative. She'll look for things like, oh, I didn't like, the view from the side, or like, and she'll all of a sudden notice things that actually do play a part into my numbers game. And so it's a lot of help having boots on the ground. You'll feel a lot more comfortable. You'll have somebody just like be able to walk into the door. Like and this is the big reason, the appraisals that I got in Indianapolis, just gave the location there. The pictures from the appraisals were terrible. Like they were, I don't want to say different, but wow. I was just like, I was so happy I saw those pictures, because I was like, I'm not buying this thing. I had like, I wish I could show you guys what the ad was, so to speak, like the initial offer, like, hey, this is a property you can look at. It was like PowerPoint, just regular picture. In hindsight, 2020, I can't believe, at least being the person I am, like I should have a little bit more pride in like the professionalism when people like presenting something to me and me going for something. It was just, it was so ridiculous. Like they had one semi-blurry picture, and then the pictures that they did of their rehab, they showed like specific areas where they worked on something, and it didn't do it the justice it needed. So, and I think I put a little too much trust in the person, because I had a great conversation with him on the phone, but yeah.
Awesome.
So boots on the ground.
Yeah, that's great. It's great info. Well, hey, I appreciate it. And hey, just real fast, give us your elevator pitch for your new course coming out on activedutypassiveincome.com.
Yeah, awesome. So like we just talked about, passive income, that's part of my name in my website. I'm trying to help people that are just starting out typically through Turnkey, but just teaching them the basics of real estate investing, and how and why I think it is the best wealth builder, the best way to invest, and absolutely possible for even active duty military. And so I'm creating a membership and a course. It's going to be a video walkthrough, drip to you course for anybody. It doesn't have to be active duty, spouses, veterans, retired, what have you. It's about everybody learning. It creates community. You can find partners on there that want to invest on properties together. It's called, like you mentioned earlier, Active Duty Passive Income. I have a free ebook on there called Military House Hacking, and it's just like a 40+ page, helps you start with either the VA loan or FHA loan, how you can really scale up and accelerate your investments by refinancing and buying a couple of properties with each duty station, and really setting yourself up when you decide to get out of the military and when you try to transition. Actually, if you it's still set up right now. If you text ADPI, so Active Duty Passive Income, just the initials for that, to 444-999, should give you a link. After you shoot back an email, it gives you a link to download that ebook, and then that'll keep you updated on the course. The course should be coming out within the next month and a half or two. And I'm super pumped about it. We're actually going to have a connection to where we'll help you find your first turnkey property once you get to a certain part of the course, and we're going to have some reciprocal memberships. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Awesome, man. Very cool. Well, hey, I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us today and teaching us about Turnkey. Again, Markion, you can look him up at activedutypassiveincome.com, and appreciate you being here, bud.
Cool. Thank you so much.
All right. Take it easy.